Hey guys, Sophia here with turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com, and I'm back with another video. Today we are talking about whether there are too many female divisions in the IFBB Pro League. If you've been following my channel for some time, you probably know my answer to this question, but come along with me anyway. I figure it's worth talking about because the Arnold is coming up right away. March 3rd to 6th. It's going to be so exciting. I always will give you a prediction video as well as the recap video, so stay tuned for that. But last year, when they announced the invitation list, we saw bikini, figure, fitness, and wellness. So, of course, that meant there was no women's physique and no women's bodybuilding. And yeah, total bummer. Would have loved to have seen both of those categories as well. I know a lot of people were super disappointed. But on the other hand, you know, the Arnold Sports Festival is so respectable. I think they are just doing whatever they can, navigating these really bizarre, crazy times, just trying to put on a show. And I'm sure they had a lot of really difficult decisions to make just for the show to go on. So I certainly don't hold anything against them. Would I love to see all of the women's divisions? Of course, but I get it. I get that they had to, you know, make cuts, make decisions here and there for their own reasons. And, you know, we don't even have to know what those reasons are. It's their business. They're a private competition. We have lots of competitions all year long that don't have all of the divisions. So I get it. However, one thing that I heard as an argument was that there are too many female divisions anyway. They're indistinguishable from each other. They're too similar that a casual watcher wouldn't even know the difference between them. So I figured, let's talk about that a little bit. And of course, comment below with your thoughts. You guys are the most intelligent and amazing commenters. I love reading what you have to say. So I'm really looking forward to that. So here we go. Here, in case you know nothing about the female divisions in the IFBB Pro League, here they are. Bikini, wellness, fitness, figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding. So these categories, all of the women are going to be judged on their muscularity, which of course is different depending on the division. They're also judged on their level of conditioning, which again is different depending on the division. They're judged on their symmetry and their balance. Wellness in particular is a little bit different than the others in terms of their balance. I'll talk about that later. And then the presentation, the posing, the pizzazz, the smile, the hair, the makeup, the skin, all of that matters. And so if you want to look at it from a muscularity perspective, bikini is the petite girls. They are the smallest amount of muscle. You can see it in the picture. They have a beautiful foundation of muscle, great arms, beautiful glutes, nice small waists, but definitely they do not have the size as any of the ladies as you scan across the screen. So bikini is kind of like, think about it as your base, the very smallest amount of muscle. Then you go up to wellness, and there is a significant amount of muscle on their glutes, quads, hamstrings, the legs, the thighs, the hips are bigger. Also, their shoulders are a little bit bigger, but the emphasis is on the lower body. And when I mentioned balance, yeah, they're a little bit more bottom focused for wellness. And you know what, when you look next to them at fitness and figure, wellness is even potentially bigger than some of those girls as well. So a lot of muscle, especially compared to bikini. Now, if you look at fitness and figure, there is a lot more muscle on both of these ladies. And the reason that I kind of clump them together is because they are judged similarly in terms of their physique round. So fitness, if you didn't know, is crazy. These women have to do an unreal high energy fitness routine. It's worth 2/3 of their score. They have some mandatory poses, which I can tell you are push-ups, high kicks, straddle holds, side splits. It's just insane. And for the women to be able to do these shows and have these kind of physiques is really sensational. Fitness is just unreal. But in terms of the way they look, for sure, very similar to figure. So you can see there is more muscle on the upper body in particular than wellness. There's a lot more of that balanced V-taper. The upper and the lower are quite a lot, especially when you go back and you compare it with bikini. So you're definitely increasing in size. Then you look over at women's physique, even bigger, significant difference in the conditioning, which I'll talk about later, but they're even larger, upper and lower. And then you get to women's bodybuilding and it's like no holds barred. It is as big and as muscular and as brawny and beautiful as these ladies can get. So absolutely there is differences, and I think it's quite clearly visible, particularly when you line everybody up side by side. Okay, now in terms of conditioning, yeah, that's a big difference too, although there's going to be some similarities. Bikini and wellness, very similar level of conditioning. You've got glute ham tie-ins visible, you've got nice roundness to the glutes, but it's not anywhere near as defined as fitness and figure. They have way more detail in their backs, more detail in the legs and the hamstrings. But then you move to women's physique. Now you're starting to get striations. You're starting to get a little bit more square, that squared line in the glute. Way more just kind of ripped and really detailed. But they don't want graininess and they don't want overly striated. If I were to tell you exactly what it says women's physique athletes should not display an overly striated physique and graininess associated with female bodybuilding. So when you go now and you look over at women's bodybuilding, wow. That is, and it's right on the webpage, they say it's a total package, which is a balance of size, symmetry, and muscularity. The conditioning can be crazy, right? You can have the striations, you can have the graininess. So I think from a conditioning perspective, it's very clear to see the differences between the divisions as well. And then, of course, when you look at the difference in the way that these girls are walking and posing, there's a style in the divisions. Bikini and wellness are a little bit similar in the way that they walk and they pose and they touch their hair and the way they pose, particularly in the back pose. And then fitness and figure have their own kind of nuances about the way that they are in their lineup and the mandatory poses. Women's physique has so much individual character. They get to do their own routine with music. Same with women's bodybuilding. So I think there are loads and loads of differences between the divisions. And what's beautiful is that there is a spot. There's a place for everybody. Anybody who aspires to get into bodybuilding, to get into fitness, to be competitive can have a division. I think it's just wonderful. I love all the divisions. So obviously I do not think that there are too many divisions, and I think there is a place for everyone. One thing I do think is so cool is Missy, who of course is a champion in fitness, recently posted some pictures candidly of her posing with another woman in different divisions. So here she is with Janet, who is a former Miss Olympia in bikini. You can just see the difference between a bikini competitor and a fitness competitor. I think is quite clear. Just look at the shoulders, right? I don't think you would ever mistake one for the other. And now here is Missy next to Yarishna in wellness. Look at the size on Yarishna's legs. Again, I don't think you would confuse them. I think they are clearly different. And then I have one more picture from Missy's Instagram. She's standing next to Andrea, women's bodybuilding. Andrea's arms are like double the size. Both women are muscular, but Andrea is so muscular. So clearly, the divisions are all different. So that is my video. Let me know if you agree. I cannot wait for the comments on this one. Please give me a like if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. There is a contest coming up this weekend already, and I will be back with a recap as soon as I can. You don't want to miss it. Come check me out at turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com and of course on Instagram at turquoisetoffee.